Okay, so here are some examples. So first, example I says, f of x minus c of x. So the first thing you should always do is identify what's being asked of you. So here I'm being asked to subtract. So because I'm going to subtract, I know that I'm going to be a little more delicate. I can only subtract like terms. The exponents won't change. So I'm going to subtract here f of x. So f of x is going to be, in this case, this stuff. So 5x squared plus 3x. I'm going to subtract that from c of x. Now c of x in this case is going to be these three terms. So minus x squared plus 6x plus 7. Minus x squared plus 6x plus 7. So again, now that I have it set up, I can start. When we subtract, our first step is to distribute the minus 1, in this case, to all three terms. So I want to find the opposite of everything. So the opposite of negative x squared, or in other words, a negative times a negative, is a positive x squared, so plus x squared. The opposite of a plus 6 is a minus 6, and the opposite of a plus 7 is a minus 7. So that's my first step. This was not done when we added, but when we subtract, we have to do this first step before we combine things. Once we're here, now all I have to do is combine like terms. So I just look and I scan the question. I see a 5x squared and a 1x squared. Those are like terms. So 5 plus 1 is 6x squared. I see 3x and a minus 6x. So I can combine those. 3 minus 6 is minus 3x. And then to finish, I see this minus 7 by itself, so it just comes down by itself again. And at this point I'm stuck because I have no more like terms. That's the answer to example I. Okay, so with that, let's just try one more together. And again, the key here is as you look at all these questions, before you get anxious or frustrated by it, just look at to see what it's asking you to do. I mean, if I do this quickly, in example J I'm subtracting, example K I'm subtracting, example L I'm going to be adding, right? So now I'm going to mix it in with you, and then here I'm subtracting. Let's look at K. Here we're going to subtract. Again, when we subtract, we know it's a delicate process. We can only subtract like terms, and we do not change the exponents. So here it's saying t of x, so that's going to be here t of x, 8x minus 3, subtracted by h of x. H of x is going to be, again, this stuff here, 4x squared plus x minus 1. 4x squared plus x minus 1. So again, the note today is the only difference that when we subtract, the first thing you have to do is distribute this minus 1 into this second parentheses here on the right. And we can do it by just finding the opposite of the terms that you have. So the opposite of positive 4x squared is negative 4x squared. Again, it's the same as saying a negative times a positive is a negative. And again, the opposite of a positive x is a negative x. And then the opposite of a negative 1 is a positive 1. So once that's complete, we're back to what we're doing with adding expressions. So now here I just scan this step in the work and I look for like terms. I see an x squared, but there are no other x squareds here, so that just comes down the exact same, minus 4x squared. And that one's done. But I do see here an 8x and a minus 1x. So I can combine those. 8 minus 1 is going to be 7x. And then to finish, I see a minus 3 and a plus 1. So I can combine those numbers. So minus 3 plus 1 is going to be minus 2. And then again, at this point in the problem, I'm done. I'm stuck. I can't combine anything else. So that's going to be my answer. So the answer here is minus 4x squared plus 7x minus 2.